got Skype as well, so feel free to Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM. And I guess this time next week we'll be done with Thanksgiving, because I think that's coming up Thursday, right?
Yep. Thanksgiving's on Thursday.
So Ian and Mark in the studio with you here tonight. So next week, it's going to be the day after Black Friday, which of course will be, holiday shopping insanity, as it always is.
Somebody's going to get hurt.
But there's news actually related to last year's Christmas holiday shopping season that I think is worth sharing from CNBC.com, and that is that an alarming number of shoppers are still paying off their debt from last Christmas. As the holiday season approaches, the pressure to spend spikes. This year, gift-buying Americans plan to spend $660 on average this holiday season. That's according to new data from NerdWallet's 2017 Consumer Holiday Shopping Report.
Yeah, I think I read some statistic like 40% of Americans don't have $400 in the bank.
That sounds believable.
So they apparently intend to go into debt.
Correct. To buy gifts for people that they care about, who presumably also care about them and probably wouldn't want their loved one to go into debt on their behalf. But there's this sort of...
the kids don't really care whether you go into debt. They want their Star Wars figures.
Yeah, I was talking about, not the kids necessarily. I mean, a Star Wars figure, unless you're buying the 1977 edition Star Wars figure...
I had those.
It's probably, going to be $5 or something like that. You can probably... I don't know. Maybe figures cost $10 these days. I don't know. It's probably
the Kenner figures were $3 when I was in prior to high school. Yeah,
okay.
In the 80s.
So yeah, I don't know what a toy like that costs these days, but I suspect it's not much more than $20, right? I mean,
it could
20,
like a figurine.
Yeah,
figurine. No, I can't imagine.
Right. So I mean, you can always cheap out when it comes to buying kids stuff.
But I can tell you, it's real darn difficult to find a $5 Lego these days.
No doubt, those are definitely expensive. So according to NerdWallet's 2017 Consumer Holiday Shopping Report, which analyzed spending and behavior trends of more than 2,000 Americans aged 18 and over, holiday-induced debt is a growing problem. Although survey respondents say they plan to spend roughly the same amount that they spent last year, 24% of shoppers say they overspent in 2016, while 27% admit to not making a budget at all. Even a budget is only a good start. Courtney Jesperson, a consumer savings expert at NerdWallet, says, quote, "There's this myth that planning ahead and budgeting always ensures you don't overspend, but in reality, creating and even sticking to a budget won't make you immune to holiday debt. It's so important to set a realistic ceiling for your spending."
Yeah.
During the 2016 season, boomers proved most likely to take on debt to finance their purchases, with 63% of respondents copping to the habit. Other generations took on debt as well, including 58% of Gen Xers and 40% of millennials.
Jeez, those are huge numbers. Those are not rookie numbers. We do not need to pump those numbers up.
Interesting, though, that the millennials were less likely to take on the debt.
They're just less likely to have money, I suppose.
No. This is people taking on debt. Who went into debt because they wanted to go holiday shopping. 63% of baby boomers admitted to it, 58% of Gen Xers admitted to it, and 40% of millennials admitted to it.
I would say this, you do need to set a budget, but you also need to look at your spending in the rest of the year, too. If you just decide I'm going to set a budget, based on Christmas gifts, and you continue to live your life, getting the $5 coffee-flavored Slurpees from, the chain restaurants there, and, all the other stuff, then you're just spending your Christmas money on you. Whereas what your loved ones would really like to see you do is create a budget and stick to it. When the economic downturn occurred, and I think this was like 2007 or 2008, it was really rough in my house. We make a living based on advertising, and advertising went away when spending went away. Mm-hmm. And so we really had to clamp down. And my wife put together a budget, and that truly worked. We worked at paying things off. My house is now paid off, and I'm really, really, delighted. And she has to get the credit for it because she put together the budget. She made the meals at home, and which saved us, a tremendous amount of money.
Sure does.
No longer, spending money out. And
you quit smoking.
I don't think that was a huge amount, but yes, it's true.
It adds up.
It does.
I mean, you weren't smoking 2 packs a day or anything like that, but
No.
you did quit. Somebody who is smoking 2 packs a day, it would add up quite fast.
Yeah.
That level of savings. So what you're saying is look at your whole year, not just budget for the holiday season. It's a good habit to get into for people that.
If you're a craft beer guy, maybe it's time to bring it down to 1 or 2 selected craft beers per week rather than every night some new
2 per night.
Yeah, some new a new array of craft beers that you're trying out and that sort of thing.
What's alarming about this pattern is that many Americans are still carrying last year's debt as they head into another holiday season. Okay, now here's the turnaround for you. Millennials are the worst culprits here. 24% still haven't paid off credit card debt incurred during the 2016 shopping season. So maybe while it looked on its face as though the millennials were being more fiscally responsible, Mark, with the earlier statistics, maybe what's really happened was the 63% of the baby boomers who got into debt, they could afford to get into the debt because they had enough investments or whatever that they knew they'd be able to pay it off by, let's say, midpoint through 2016, whereas the millennials didn't have that level of financial intelligence or experience to be able to realize that they wouldn't be able to pay it off by come next year.
Yeah, if you're still holding debt from last Christmas, it's time to make handmade gifts for people. I'm not kidding.
No, it's true. It's true.
I mean, in many cases,
it's the thought that counts.
Most of the crap I'm going to get for Christmas, I'm not going to use and do not need.
It's so true.
And we don't really, I mean, my wife and I don't even exchange gifts.
Right. Yeah, I don't give gifts generally, and I don't expect them. And usually
my mother's going to get me some
something,
stuff, and there's bound to be a sweater involved.
Yep.
And I've got so many sweaters, none of which I particularly like. And I'm like, oh, this is my favorite sweater. It'd be better off if somebody's carrying debt, I would rather them pay that debt off than get me
because you care about that person. Yeah. Right?
Make me a card that says Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's the thought that counts. And I know that sounds cliche, but shouldn't that be the truth? Yeah. I mean, look, if you're the kind of person who finds yourself upset at the idea, because if you find yourself upset at the idea that somebody might not spend X amount of dollars on you, you're the one with the problem. And if that's what you're expecting from other people, or if that's what, I guess the reverse of that is the person who is buying a bunch of stuff they can't afford for a bunch of people with the expectation that those people are going to be the kind of person who look askance at an individual who doesn't spend a whole lot or makes a homemade gift or whatever. Really? That's the kind of person you're trying to impress here? Why?
Well, there's also, you just want to make people happy. And that's fine. That's great if you want to make people happy. There are ways to do it without please don't go into debt.
Yeah.
And frankly, putting stuff into savings is probably a good thing too. Little gifts, little heartfelt, some gifts that you put some time and thought into, those are probably the best.
If you want to join us here with your thoughts on holiday spending, is it out of control? Have you had an experience like this in your life? You're welcome to join us here at 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got more here, and let's go to your calls, though. You can bring up anything you want. Michael is in Virginia Beach listening to WNIS. Hello, Michael.
Hello. If we get cut off, my battery's low. I'm not hanging up on you.
All right, just go.
Listen, the battle of the century is on between Roy Moore and Mitch McConnell, the majority leader of the United States Senate.
Roy Moore hasn't even been elected yet.
It's a primary, right? You're talking about a primary battle?
No.
I thought Roy Moore and Mitch McConnell were Republicans. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, they're both Republicans, Moore and McConnell. But it's the battle of the century because McConnell wants Judge Roy Moore to drop out of the Senate.
Oh, they're not running against one another?
I see.
All right, hang on a second here. I'm not sure what all this is about here. I've heard some things about this Roy Moore. More coming up.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
Fireplaces and wood stoves are wonderful to have and provide low-cost heating, but they've got their drawbacks too. One of them is the increased likelihood that your home will burn. My primary advice is to never let fire into your home and to make sure that you have an extinguisher on every floor and the garage, and that everyone knows how to use it. But if you love your wood stove, don't want to give it up, make sure that you keep things away from it and have a professional clean it every year. The pro will make sure the chimney is properly functioning also. Make sure to dispose of your ashes outside too. I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are 2 Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
Negotiation isn't just something union leaders and sports agents do. Your entire day is a series of negotiations. If you have young children, you know that. In fact, your kids can teach you a lot about negotiating with grown-ups. According to the world's greatest negotiator, Herb Cohen, author of You Can Negotiate Anything. Herb says that kids understand the process of decision-making within an organization. When one parent says no, they'll ask the other. And Cohen says children persist and persevere. And like smart negotiators of all ages, kids know that no is an opening bargaining position. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and it is the live Saturday edition of the program. Of course, you're invited to join us on the radio waves here. If you want, you can bring up anything that's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733.
Whole Food Multi-Complete is a supplement that I take daily, and I'd like to recommend it to you too. What it is far more than a multivitamin. Sure, it's got vitamins and minerals, but it's also got an enzyme blend, a probiotic blend, an antioxidant blend, immune support, bone and joint support, and energy support. It's got everything you need in a given day. There are quite possibly some supplements that you need to take for yourself individually for a certain condition or whatever that might be. Therapeutic supplements, but you don't need. This is got everything that you need, sort of the average person needs in a given day. And they've been doing this for 15 years now. They've been quietly providing what the big boys won't, the perfect blend of supplements in a single product, whole food, multi-complete. They've taken the expense and complexity out of following a complete supplement program. You just visit simplifymysupplements.com to learn more. You can use coupon code FTL. You'll save 10% on your order. Every order, every time. Satisfaction's guaranteed or your money back. Yes, they take Bitcoin. Simplifymysupplements.com and use coupon code FTL.
All right, let's go to your calls again here. Michael is on the line in Virginia Beach listening to WNIS. You said there's a big fight. You said fight of the century between Roy Moore and Mitch McConnell. And, I got to say, I don't know anything about these politicians. I know Roy Moore because we talked about him years ago with the whole 10 Commandments in the courtroom outside the courthouse back in Alabama. He made a lot of news because of that. So it's the only reason I remember that guy's name. And the Mitch McConnell, I've heard his name a bunch of times, but I didn't know where the hell he was from. So I figured what you meant was Roy Moore was going to be running against him. But what you meant was apparently I did a little research here. I found out Mitch McConnell's apparently from Kentucky. So they're not going to be fighting in this particular election, which is what I presumed you meant by fight of the century, Michael. So what exactly were you talking about?
Well, Mitch has asked him to get out of the race in the special election to replace Jeff Sessions, who was the senator from Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mr. Moore has won the nomination, and he is the Republican candidate. But Mitch McConnell has said he will not use Republican Senate funds to support him, and he's asked him to get out of the race after the Alabama electorate has chosen him.
Okay, so I guess I don't understand. How is this the fight of the century exactly? Some politician asking another politician to pull out of a race and the other politician saying no. Where's the fight exactly?
It becomes that because what Mr. McConnell is willing to do in the process is to sacrifice every prosecutor in America and every judge in America to this kind of Washington Compost blackmail campaign with absolutely no evidence at all.
How is he sacrificing every judge and every prosecutor in America by asking Roy Moore to step down? I am so confused at what you're trying to say.
Well, because the Washington Compost standard is you don't have to have any evidence to prove that a sexual assault occurred on you. All you have to do is make the accusation, not any witnesses available at the alleged event, and they will do your dirty work for you of taking down a judge, a prosecutor,
so you're suggesting that
a candidate for the United States Senate.
What I think is interesting about this is let's not forget that there's going to be an election, right?
Yeah.
And this election will occur in the state of Alabama.
Apparently December 12th.
December, right. And the reason that people are asking Roy Moore to step down is in part because they don't trust the electorate of the state of Alabama. They believe that the electorate can't make a decision between a accused molester and a Democrat. Now, I'll admit it could be a darn difficult decision sometimes, but isn't that really ultimately up to the electorate? I mean, shouldn't the press be putting out whatever they consider to be the truth? And I think that having like 5 accusers come out is pretty damning.
It certainly seems that way, but I do agree with what Michael says here, is that this pile-on technique is very damning, right? Like, it sounds really bad on its face, but is there actually any evidence? I mean, aren't we talking about a man who is, how old is this Moore guy? Is he in his 70s? I mean, he's not a young spring chicken anymore exactly, right? So we're talking about allegations from decades ago, right? Because the allegation was that he was 32 and he attempted to do something with a 14-year-old.
All these allegations appear to be, there's very few of them that appear to be within the last decade.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about half of a lifetime ago for this guy. I mean, whether it's Roy Moore or whether it's Bill Cosby, and certainly with Bill Cosby, you had even more than, I think, 5 accusers come out. There's no doubt the more that these accusations pile on, the worse and worse it looks for the individual in question. But I see what Michael's saying here, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Michael. So is this what you're saying? You're saying that this technique of going after somebody in a position of renown or power or influence to just simply have people accusing that person of something sexual that may or may not have occurred is enough to ruin them. You're saying that could be that could be done on a more wide scale.
Oh, absolutely. They're sending notice that they're going to take control of the judicial branch of our government by going along with the Washington Compost in tactics. And that
is that your name for the Washington Post newspaper?
A revolution in place being led by Mitch McConnell to overthrow our 3 separate and equal branch system.
Well, I mean, look, the whole 3-branch system thing is just basically a scam to make you think.
Yeah, the legislature has given over way too much power to the presidency at this point, anyway, and the judges are
they're all on the same side.
Yeah, they're all appointed by the presidency.
The 3 branches are
checks
all
and balances. My big fat toe.
It's just a myth to teach school children. Thank you for the call, Michael. I appreciate it. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Roy Moore is 70 years old. So we're talking about an allegation. He was born in 1947. They're saying he was 32 at the time. So you're talking about something they say happened in like 1979.
Yeah, you'd never get the school kids to say the Pledge of Allegiance if you told them it was an oligopoly that rarely listened to the electorate.
Right. You've got 3 branches. It's 3 heads of the same hydra that is, attacking you basically and trying to make you think that something else is actually going on. That no, you're the government. No, you're the government. Believe us as you pay up all of the money that we demand.
The document says we the people. Why don't you people believe it?
The toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE like freedom. I am not defending Judge Roy Moore, by the way. I mean, he's probably a terrible person, just like Mitch McConnell is likely a terrible person as well. And if they really were to fight with knives in a ring or something like that, I might be willing to pay for that pay-per-view.
855-450-3733. Hail Hydra.
This is Free Talk Live. You can join us here.
If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the U.S. or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season.
Hello, Mr. Anderson. The NSA has noticed how much time you spend on conservative news sites. We have no choice but to consider you a domestic terrorist.
Tired of your internet activity being monitored by Big Brother? Get virtualshield.com, the world's easiest to use virtual private network. Browse the web anonymously, leaving pesky advertisers and spies in the dust. Get started today at virtualshield.com. Take advantage of our free 30-day trial. Virtualshield.com. You have the right to remain private.
Free Talk Live.
Wait till you hear the least popular girl's name for 2004. We'll start with Rack. Crumpet.
Well, Crumpet's kind of funny.
Someone named their little girl Willie. Cannelloni. Cannelloni. Lasagna. Tasty. And Biff. Yeah, Biff. The least popular name. The least popular name.
These are all made up, folks.
I don't
not
care.
Believe this nonsense. This is not news.
I don't care. I haven't laughed this much all week. This may be my favorite. Rumpy Pumpy. Now, how could you think that one up? I mean, if you were faking this list, I could understand that you could fake Donald Duck or Scrooge or Pork. But how do you think of Rumpy Pumpy? Rumpy Pumpy. R-U-M-P-E-P-U-M-P-E-E. Rumpy Pumpy.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
Talk Live, dial toll free here, the Saturday edition of the show. We're here live, by the way. You can dial in and bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And let me tell you something. Whether Roy Moore or whoever it is that he's running against in Alabama wins this election, or whether Roy Moore bows out and some other Republican replaces him, I can tell you this. The government's going to get bigger, more intrusive, more oppressive, more expensive, more ridiculous than it has ever gotten. And whoever it is
That's
hands
the pattern, right?
that gets installed. So I just don't understand.
Tell me about all the freedoms I've incurred over the last, decade and a half.
Yeah, good luck. So I just, consider me unconcerned about whether or not Roy Moore gets booted from the ballot or resigns or gets elected or whatever, because I just know that the federal government is a hopeless case. But you can share your thoughts with us. The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. We also want to let you know about Bitcoin.com. You've seen the Bitcoin price. If you've been watching some of the news lately, it's been hitting the mainstream to some extent. People want to know about Bitcoin. They want to know, what it is. Is it a currency, or is it a little bit more than that? You go to Bitcoin.com and you can learn all about what Bitcoin is, what it was, and what it should be. Go to Bitcoin.com, get started there. They've also got a great news site to keep you up to date with what's going on with the cryptocurrency, the world's first and most successful decentralized cryptocurrency. It's Bitcoin.com. Let's go to your calls and thoughts. Pat is in Thunder Bay, Michigan, listening to WTKG. Hello, Pat.
Hello.
Hey
Yeah, I'm calling you on this judge thing down in Alabama.
Yes, sir.
And Mitch McConnell, he's the leader of the House. That's why he's attacking him.
Okay.
This guy defended the Constitution long before they started wanting to tear down statues and everything else. I mean, I think he's actually a stand-up guy. He might have been a hound dog.
I'm pretty sure he's a theocrat, isn't he? Isn't he somebody that wants to force his view of religion down other people's throats?
Well, I don't. Do you think that America has gone uphill or downhill since we went higher and lower on the religion scale?
I'm not sure what that question means. What are you saying?
Well, I'm saying that since the further we've gotten away from morality, the further we've gotten away from God, the further
Are
we've
you
gotten away
saying
from
that you
everything
believe
right.
that the way to ensure that people are moral is to force religion down their throats?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying we all have to believe in a higher power.
Okay, well, let me.
And there's something above and beyond us.
Let's take the premise. Let's see. Within the last 5 years, we've had the lowest crime reported rate in this country in history. So
Violent crime? Violent crime?
Violent crime, and I believe crime generally, but we'll just go ahead and use violent crime. So I'm going to go ahead with the premise that, yes, morality has increased as this country has moved away from religion.
You're saying morality has increased?
Violent crime's down. I'm going to call violent crime a good indicator of what morality is. Going to church, you would agree that going to church is not a good indicator for morality. You can go to church and then go out and stick somebody up, right?
Oh, I agree on. I was a Catholic. I was an altar boy back in the day. I haven't been to the Catholic Church except for maybe Christmas and Easter in years. I mean,
so what you're saying is you are able to retain your morality. What you're saying, Pat, is you've been able to retain your sense of morality without going to church on a regular basis.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Okay. He's not advocating church. He's advocating a more social conservatism ensconced in law. And the problem with this is that then you have police officers attempting to, dictate what morality is. You have people arrested for adultery or sodomy or a whole variety of laws. In Texas, I believe it's illegal to have an adult marital aid sale. Yeah, you're not allowed to possess marital aids, and that's ridiculous.
I'm not advocating any jackboots that advocate laws. All right, you guys got me all wrong.
Well, then, I'm sorry. We might have thought you were like Roy Moore, because that's the kind of thing that Roy Moore would do.
Dude, in Kentucky, it's legal for a 13-year-old to have sex as long as she's not a virgin. I mean, give me a break.
That.
I would
imagine.
imagine.
She not become a virgin except in her own house.
I don't know, but that's not legal advice.
Yeah. Look, you came on the air.
I'm just saying it's on the books.
So, Pat, what you came on the air saying was that you thought Roy Moore was a constitutional guy.
I'm saying Roy Moore is under attack from the right, from the left. I don't think this man did anything wrong. The fifth woman that accused him, she says, they only did one clip of this interview when the whole thing first started. She says, he locked me in the car after he took me to the back parking lot, and I don't remember how I got on the ground, but the door was open and the tires were squealing as he was driving away. This is in 1970-something. Everything had a V8. If you pulled away with tires squealing, guess what, dude? The door slammed shut.
So, Pat,
right? Okay,
look, I don't know whether these accusations are true.
There was no back parking lot in this restaurant.
Okay, look, I don't care, honestly, about the details.
Yearbook, it's in 2 different colors of ink.
Pat, it doesn't matter to me what the details of the accusations are. I think these are way too far away from
That's for the voters to decide, as far as I'm concerned.
Ultimately, that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me are these politicians. All of them are scum of the earth. They are liars, they're scum, they're thieves, they are dishonest. I don't know whether Roy Moore did the things they're saying he did, and to me it doesn't matter, because even if he didn't do those things, he's still a bad guy by virtue of the fact that he's seeking a Senate seat in the first place for the Republican or Democratic Party.
You're probably right. You're probably right, but you know how deep the swamp is. And I was so happy to see Trump get into the White House because, God, we need a honey badger.
How's that going so far? I mean, we're about a year in here. Where's that swamp level at?
But he's getting no backing. They won't confirm any of his nominations. They won't help him at all. He's under continual attack. And this guy, Roy Moore, I think, is another honey badger.
So what you're saying is...
We need to elect upstanding people.
Brother, they don't run for office. Upstanding people stay out of politics. Thanks for the call tonight. The toll-free number here, with a few exceptions. Ron Paul, I'll grant him an exception. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Upstanding.
He's not in politics anymore.
I know. He's doing good things. Upstanding people do productive things with their lives. They create products and services and, offer themselves as volunteers for the community and things like that. That's what upstanding people do. Politicians tend to be the lowest form of scum. They're even lower than disc jockey. The toll-free number here is 855.
And you'd know.
That's right. 855-450-3733.
I will say Kentucky's age of consent laws are a little confusing.
Okay.
I'm not advocating for whatever the gentleman said. I'm just saying the age
I don't even know what he said.
The age of consent, he said something like 13 as long as you're not a virgin. I don't know.
I don't know.
The age of consent is 16 years or older, where a minor has sex with a person who is 21 or older. 16 years. So you can, a 16-year-old can have sex with somebody who's over the age of 21.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
But not under?
This is generally only applies to the situation where a person is between the ages of 14 and 16 and has sex with a person who's older the age.
Wait, the 16-year-old can't have sex with somebody who's 20?
It wouldn't apply at that point. Yeah. So
they
yes,
could?
They could.
They could.
Yeah.
And they could have sex with somebody who's 21.
It sounds like a 15-year-old could with somebody who's 20.
Gotcha.
All right. Look, this is just what I'm reading on the internet.
Where'd you get that from?
Legalmatch.com.
Okay. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE like freedom.
It's 18 if you want to have sex with your foster parent, though.
855-450-3733. What about that story out of Oklahoma where a daughter has been sentenced to probation after marrying her own mother? Did you hear about that story?
Yeah, I did, and I didn't really understand it, and I figured that, rednecks do what rednecks do, and I don't care. 10
years of probation after pleading guilty to incest. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. It's weird, but should it be a crime? This is Free Talk Live.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait on the count. Now. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! incapable.
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me.
Property, you
What
need
am I
to leave
being
now.
detained for?
You're being served.
What
There
is
you go.
this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live Saturday edition of the show. You may dial toll-free here to bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. The Skype username is lrn.fm. You head over to freetalklive.com. You can get signed up for our email list. We'll send out an email to you every week, basically, to keep you in the loop with what's happening with Free Talk Live. That is an easy way for you to find out when you're on our email list. So go to freetalklive.com and you can get signed up there. The email sign up is right there on the front page of the site, pretty much front and center. Head over to freetalklive.com, get signed up there, and then enjoy all the rest of the features that we have there free. With you tonight, it's Ian
and Mark. To
the phones, to your calls and thoughts. We go first to Ryan. He's in Kansas. Ryan, where are you calling from in Kansas tonight?
I'm actually in Salina.
All right. Welcome to the show. You're listening to, I think it's KSAL. Go ahead.
I was just listening to you guys on the last call when it comes to like secularism and morality and how we're living in a time where violent crime has gone down. And one point that I'd like to make is that correlation doesn't necessarily equal causation. I mean, it would go back to, it would be almost akin to ice cream consumption and shark attacks.
Well, we did talk about morality and violent crime. I'm not sure that that's shark attacks and ice cream flavors, but go ahead.
But he's right.
Correlation doesn't mean causation, but the gentleman put out a theory and asked me my opinion, and I threw something out. But go right ahead, please. Beat me up.
No, I'm not trying to beat you up, but I am trying to have a conversation. I think the removal of all secularism. I mean, it's going to lead down a path that we don't want to be on, in my opinion.
Like,
wait, you said hold on. Wait, you said the removal of secularism?
Correct.
So
I know there is supposed to be a separation in church and state, but when the norm is to not actually display your morality or at least principles, and I believe on campus even today, a lot of those principles are being removed. The true form of equality is actually taking a step back and more or less repeating segregation. And what kind of a path is that going to lead? When we're vilifying the majority simply for being the majority, I don't believe that's the path that we want to go down. I think we should be coming together through either, beliefs used to be one of those big bridges when it came to the black and white population. Same with Hispanics.
I'm so confused.
I'm absolutely confused.
Wait. You said there's a trend of removing secularism. Secularism is the lack of religion, right? So,
correct.
What is the trend that you're seeing of secularism being removed? Are you saying that religion is replacing secularism in institutions?
No, I'm saying the removal of religion. whether it be
that's okay, because that's different from what you actually said. Because you'd said the removal of secularism, so you meant the removal of religion.
Correct. Well,
Okay.
I mean, a principled beliefs. Let's just say that.
Okay. So, I'd like my principal beliefs to be not based on religion generally. I think that I think those principles come from God, but the idea that, for instance, the vice crimes, drugs, gambling, prostitution, these things come to mind. Nevada has these things, and they're legal, and somehow that isn't some kind of cesspool of villainy.
Some people would say it is, but
Vegas isn't great, but I mean it's just a big city where a lot of people visit. You'll probably see similar things happening in Orlando.
Sure.
A lot of that is imported. I see what you're getting at.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think that you should have to hire somebody you don't want to hire at your business. And I don't think you should have to provide abortions to employees if you find an abortion to be abhorrent. And I don't think you should have to make a cake for somebody's wedding that you don't want to make a cake for. I think that your religious freedom ends at you, but that it shouldn't ever be foisted upon somebody else, if you get my drift.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, but what I'm saying is if you have an urge to practice your beliefs, whether they coincide with whoever you're around or they're completely opposite, you should still have the ability to do that. Let's just take
Where do you feel that you don't have the ability to practice your beliefs?
You can't pray in elementary schools or junior high, middle school.
Hold on. Wait.
High school.
When has anyone ever been prevented from praying? I mean, that's a solitary, quiet activity that an individual can engage in anywhere, anytime. I mean, really? What are you talking about?
Well, I don't have any specific instances of it at this time. I'm sorry. I came ill-prepared.
What you might be thinking about, let me just interject here. You might be thinking about certain controversies around people doing, let's say, more ostentatious displays of prayer. People who want to have a prayer in front of a class, or to take specific time out of the educational curriculum in order to have a prayer. That's a little different than somebody just quietly praying to themselves, wouldn't you say?
I would agree with that, yeah.
So I've never heard of somebody being told you can't bow your head and be quiet in school.
Well, however, I would go so far as to say this: that the government has no business having schools.
No doubt.
The schools should be provided.
The Federal Education Department. I'm with you on that.
I don't want to just get rid of the Federal Education Department. I want, I don't think education should be socialized in any way, shape, or form. I think that on down the municipal level, that I think that in a world where you can learn anything you want on YouTube, that anything more than buying a kid a laptop is theft.
Well, when you take away that structure, though, I can see where that would be a problem as well, especially with
parents,
procrastinators such as myself coming ill-prepared to a conversation like this.
Yeah, so you take away this. What school has become? I mean, let's be realistic here. It's middle-class welfare, babysitting day prison. And
I'd say that's true.
It's really, I mean, they make an effort to do good things during that the time that they have your kid in day prison, but it's really just so that one of the parents can get out there and work and pay more taxes so that they can then have the school, so that you have to pay taxes for the school. It's all a big racket. My wife stayed home, and my kid's been well educated. He reads better than kids in his age bracket, and we don't even use a curriculum.
I don't mean to throw this dichotomy out there, but you've got what faced sidewise politically is more predominantly there, even from the elementary school perspective. I mean, it only gets worse from the bottom on up. You look at the kind of madness that's going on campus right now, where they vilify men, white people. If you're not a person of color, you're considered. I mean, it's almost like a return to a caste system, or something akin to that.
every institution, every organization develops its own personality over time. I will agree with you that some schools have developed a personality that is sort of decidedly quite, like progressive in sort of a crazy way. That's just icing on top of the cake, where I say that government funding should be pulled from all form of education. If I want to go out and learn how to use a chainsaw better, I'm going to have to pay somebody to do it. Any class, any self-improvement should be something that a person comes up with. If we say, what about the poor people? That's fine. Let's talk about a means-based scholarship program rather than what we have now, which is, I will repeat, middle-class welfare babysitting day prison.
Ryan, thanks for the call. I appreciate hearing from you. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We have Dave in Indianapolis listening to WIBC FM. Hey, Dave.
Hello, hippies. Good Saturday evening. That description of public education nailed it.
Yeah, it's been developed over many years.
Well, I mean, anybody can look in Article 1, Section 8 and see that it's not the federal government's job for education. Real quick, first off, I'm going to compliment you on Ron Paul. There was nobody better on domestic issues in any debate than Ron Paul.
There was nobody better on foreign issues either.
Well, you couldn't spell jihadist. So now I'm going to beat you up.
Go ahead.
Not really. The reason you should at least be, I'll say, lukewarm to Trump is because he may not be what you want as far as somebody to go in there, clear things up, shake up the establishment, and that sort of thing.
Well, hold on. Before you go on, let me give Trump his props. Yeah. He did what I wanted him to do. He nominated Neil Gorsuch. That's what I was hoping.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I didn't vote for him, but that's what I wanted.
I get you. Me too. I was sweating the Second Amendment pretty bad. He is not getting any help from Congress. And you have to remember, the swamp isn't just in D.C. You go elbow to elbow with the swamp every day you're out in the public. There are a lot of people in this country, just about half, who don't give a damn about the Constitution. And they would gladly see it thrown out. So,
what makes you think Donald Trump gives a damn about the Constitution?
Well, because all the flack he's catching from Republicans and Democrats in Congress.
I think it's just like throwing a Tasmanian devil in there, and I was happy for it for that.
Bombing people, right? Like way more people than Barack Obama bombed.
I don't see any news stories about it, though.
We saw news about that previously. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We'll bring Dave back for more. Coming up.
Back pain doesn't take vacations. It never celebrates holidays. It's on the job 24/7 to keep your life exactly where it is, in limbo. But it doesn't have to be that way, because Laser Spine Institute can help you take back your life from chronic neck and back pain. With a less than 1-inch incision, our minimally invasive procedures have provided relief to over 60,000 patients with a 97% patient satisfaction rate. So get ready to stand tall and live the life you've imagined for yourself without pain. Are you or a loved one suffering from a bulging disc, herniated disc, spinal stenosis, pinched nerve, or degenerative disc disease? Call our spine care consultants now at
855-510-BACK.
For a no-cost MRI review and to learn more. It's time to say goodbye to chronic neck and back pain.
Call 855-510-BACK to see if laser spine surgery is right for you. That's 855-510-BACK.
What have you got to lose? Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, November 18th, 2017. Silver's trading at $17.31 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,294 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,708. Antiwar.com reports U.S. military intentions in Syria have never been exactly transparent, but are becoming even less so as Pentagon officials loudly declare that the Islamic State has been defeated in the country, but insist the U.S. military intends to remain. This is a potential major legal issue because Syria never authorized the U.S. invasion in the first place. U.S. officials always presented the authorization as being UN resolution supporting the fight against the Islamic State, but that would no longer apply. Moreover, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has pointed out that Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has repeatedly assured him that the only U.S. goal in Syria is to fight the Islamic State. This is adding to Russian concerns about what the U.S. is actually planning on doing next. Secretary of Defense James Mattis is trying to present this as keeping the Islamic State 2.0 from coming into existence. While this is also the pretext for staying in Iraq, there is a major difference between a permanent deployment in Iraq that the U.S.-backed government there supports and trying to stay in Syria forever despite explicit opposition from the Syrian government. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports the Ohio State University has suspended all fraternity activities effective immediately, the latest major U.S. university to do so in view of several high-profile hazing incidents. David Isaacs, the spokesman for the college's Office of Student Life, told The Lantern the university will not tolerate behavior that puts the health and safety of its students at risk. The school said the suspension of all social, recruitment, and new member activities applies to all 37 regulated fraternities at the school. 11 fraternities at Ohio State are under investigation for violations of the Student Code of Conduct. Isaacs said the majority of the incidents reviewed involved hazing or alcohol. Ryan Lavelle, Ohio State's Senior Director of Sorority and Fraternity Life, said the Greek community at Ohio State has a long and rich tradition of leadership, service, and brotherhood/sisterhood. However, when individual members or organizations fail to live up to the standards and values, the entire community suffers. Lavelle said in a letter to Interfraternity Council chapter presidents and their national organizations that the investigations were deeply troubling and in an unacceptably high number. Fraternities at the university may only participate in essential activities until the suspension is over, not including social or alcohol-related events. All IFC chapters at Ohio State will be required to submit a list of essential activities to school authorities. The Ohio State University joins a list of other schools that have suspended Greek activity due to hazing and student deaths, including Texas State, Florida State, and Louisiana State. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a former South Carolina police officer who was filmed fatally shooting an unarmed motorist in the back 2 years ago will be sentenced on December 4th on federal civil rights charges. Michael Slager pled guilty in May to violating motorist Walter Scott's civil rights by using excessive force in the April 2015 shooting. A widely distributed cell phone video of the shooting taken by a bystander heightened a national debate about police treatment of minorities across the United States. The December 4th sentencing hearing will be held in the U.S. District Court in Charleston, South Carolina. Judge David Norton, who heard Slager's guilty plea in May, has blocked out a week for the proceedings. Slager faces a sentence ranging from time served to a maximum of life in prison on the civil rights charge. He has been in federal custody since his guilty plea just weeks before his federal trial was scheduled to begin. Slager fired 8 shots at Scott's back, hitting him 5 times. He opened fire after Scott fled a traffic stop for a broken taillight. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
A flash flood warning is in effect, and authorities are asking people to stay indoors and avoid the roads.
We are urging everyone to seek shelter. Remember, being carried away by this storm is very different from the joy of being carried by Bogdan and seeing for miles from his shoulders.
The typhoon is predicted to hit the South Carolina coast the hardest. Chad Williams is live on the scene now. The wind looks pretty strong out there, Chad.
Barely. But it is nothing compared to Bogdan.
So people in South Carolina aren't worried?
No, they laugh at the storm. They are piling sandbags to stop the water. Would mere sand stop Bogdan?
But there is real danger. Authorities say that 3 people were killed outside of Charleston when their car was washed into a ravine.
And in that we have proof. The storm has failed the true test of strength. Bogdan's greatest power is his gentle heart. Bogdan would never hurl a car full of people into a ravine.
So from what you're seeing out there, real strength lies within?
Yes. This storm, like all else, is weaker than Bogdan.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, launching into the second hour of the program. You can dial in toll-free to bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. In the studio with you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Mark.
You can bring up anything. Let's go right back to your calls and thoughts. We had Dave on the line in Indianapolis listening to WIBC. He's called in to talk about Donald Trump saying that he can't drain the swamp as quickly as one might like because apparently the swamp doesn't want to be drained. Is that kind of what you were saying, Dave? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, pretty much. I knew in 2000, I knew right after election night that he was going to need pretty much a new Congress, even with the Republicans we had. So I'm prepared to wait for 4 years to see that he gets some real change in there. I mean, he's got people like John McCain and Susan Collins and what's her face up in Alaska. I'm patient. Okay, he wasn't my candidate either, but I'm extremely patient, and I think we dodged a huge bullet.
You're talking about Hillary Clinton?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that was they're looking for the kill shot. They were looking for single payer overnight.
Yeah, I expected Hillary to win, but in fact, she didn't, which gives me A, faith that the United States electoral system is not rigged, and B, just sort of surprised. It was I was just really stunned at it. I also believe that if she hadn't rigged the Democratic nomination, that Bernie probably would have beaten Trump.
Well, now that's a scary fact that so many people are still so enthralled with Bernie Sanders.
Well, Obama wasn't able. Obama was only able to get the Obamacare through because of that first 7 weeks or something of his administration when there weren't when the Republicans were the minority in both the House, the Senate, and of course the White House.
I think it's worth pointing out here that even though maybe the FCC has repealed a couple of old regulations or whatever it is that they've done a couple of little tweaks. I can give credit where credit's due, but the government's getting bigger. It's going to get more expensive. It's going to get more intrusive over time. You've got them talking about building a wall. You've got travel bans that this president has attempted to put into place. He's continued and escalated the bombing runs that Obama continued and escalated that George W. Bush started. So
which
by
will
all evidence,
likely turn into some kind of terrorist attack at some point.
By all evidence, Donald Trump is just like what went before. He's just more entertaining of a character.
Well, let me leave you with this, okay? You want to vote for the Republicans that want to take an axe to D.C., not Republicans that think Republicans.
I don't want to vote for any of these people.
I know, but guys, you got to give some credit to a little bit of success. We got some baby steps here.
I agree with Dave.
Okay?
I see more tyranny. I see more tyranny.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what it's all because let's not forget that during Ronald Reagan's administration, the government grew by 60% from a budgetary standpoint. I'm curious as to see what happens with Trump too, and these tax credits.
Time will tell.
Yeah, these tax proposals that he has really are transparently cuts for the rich. I understand to cut, you need to cut taxes for the rich, but you shouldn't be just cutting taxes for the rich.
No
you
doubt.
shouldn't be taking write-offs. You shouldn't be placing tax burden on the middle class, in that circumstance. And so again, I think the bullet was dodged, but
Dave,
I'm not thanking my lucky stars.
Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Let's continue here with your calls and thoughts. Ricky is calling from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Ricky, you're on via Skype.
That'd be Jefferson Davis, president of the CSA there, brother Ian. Good evening.
You're calling yourself Jefferson Davis now?
A.K.A. Jefferson Davis. Last night, something horrible happened. The first shots I fired on Fort Sumter because that Union State is bastard. And that man Vincent, who stabbed me in the back, that statist sympathizer, I won that duel. Now, to all the people of the CS of A, your president, Jefferson Davis, you have nothing.
The CS of A, the Confederate States of America?
That'd be right there, brother Ian.
Okay, so you are channeling Jefferson Davis, or do you believe that you're the reincarnation of Jefferson Davis?
Or did you eat strange berries while hiking in the woods?
Well, I was hearing about this Trump stuff and all that, and all of a sudden I felt funny. I think somebody did something terrible a long time ago, mess with something they shouldn't have, and it distorted the space-time continuum, and we're having ripples and rifts, and history is repeating itself over the past.
Ricky's getting pretty deep here with all this stuff.
I hope whatever science fiction writer created this notion of the space-time continuum gets shot instead of Lincoln.
Now, that bastard Lincoln.
Now you've done it. You set him off.
I intended to.
And now, would you, brother Mark, would you be Confederate or you be Union?
Take your side, sir.
You're not gonna have me pick between two crappy governments. Sorry.
Brother Ian, I heard what happened when the shots were fired. I say that you're a general, and we got their best and their brightest.
I am an anti-war peace activist. I am definitely not a general, and I would rather see everybody secede individually rather than states seceding. But that said, I do support secession, so I will say that I do hope to see the South rise again. Thanks for the call, Ricky. The toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE like freedom. I don't care what the political viewpoint is of those who wish to secede. I just want to see more secession all around the globe. I don't care if it's a bunch of socialists in Catalonia that want to secede from the other socialists in Spain to make a more socialist government.
I figured you were talking about California, sorry.
No, them too. I support them seceding. Anybody who wants to secede, an individual should be able to secede. A town, a state, a country should be able to split into, or 4 or 6 or however many. The more splits, the more schisms, the more choices in the marketplace, the better. As long as we have the relative freedom to move from one place to another, and that's getting more difficult, I think, over time than less. But as long as we can do that still, having more options is better than fewer, because it means that different types of approaches will be tried in different places. And the more different types of approaches we can see, the more likely we hopefully will learn what works better than what doesn't. So I support secession just flat out. The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE. Let's go to David. He's in New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live via Skype. Hello? Hello, David?
You still there?
We are here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had to shut you guys off on the other channel. So, I agree with you that your government is crap no matter which way you slice it, and it's just different degrees of bad.
Sure.
And this recent Roy Moore stuff and all this other sexual allegation stuff in the news dredges it all up for me, because what I've been fighting these last 10 years starts out of that whole thing. And let me share how that went down so that people understand, and they might understand how why I'm seeing it in a slightly different light. It's not new to me. There was so we split up, mother and father. We're exchanging because we don't get along. We exchange children in one of those supervised exchange visitation services.
Yeah.
which was staffed by like 8 women and 1 token male.
Okay.
And and they were not treating me well, and I was standing up to them, which had I been smarter, I would have kept a low profile. But anyway, the last time I saw my kids, I said goodbye to them, not knowing I wouldn't see them ever again. That was 10 years ago. And the next thing I know, a couple days later in court, the judge pulls out a letter from these ladies at this neutral corner saying, let me give you one thing to set a tone, and then I'll tell you the worst of it. They said things in this letter, for instance, that I in my visitation with my children, I brought music to play that I recorded a mixtape. And they said it sounded like...
I'll let you tell the rest of the story here, but they said it sounded like what?
They said it sounded like the music was being played backwards.
Really? You were accused of backwards masking to try to brainwash your own children or something?
Something like that, but there's more.
Unbelievable. Hang on, we'll let you tell a little bit more here in moments with David about the supervised exchange visitation thing and what some of these ladies alleged. It's Free Talk Live.
Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at dash.org. That's dash.org.
Fireplaces and wood stoves are wonderful to have and provide low-cost heating, but they've got their drawbacks too. One of them is the increased likelihood that your home will burn. My primary advice is to never let fire into your home and make sure that you have an extinguisher on every floor and the garage, and that everyone knows how to use it. But if you love your wood stove, don't want to give it up, make sure that you keep things away from it and have a professional clean it every year. The pro will make sure the chimney is properly functioning also. Make sure to dispose of your ashes outside too. I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Have you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware? Let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. Just visit pool.bitcoin.com and use their calculator to estimate what you could end up making. You get to decide which Bitcoin you want to mine. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. Get all the details and get started mining Bitcoin at pool.bitcoin.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition of the show. As always, you can dial in toll-free to join us here on the radio waves and bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. If you want to reach people with the ideas of liberty, you can do it from the back of your car. Go to libertystickers.com. You can reach thousands of people with a bumper sticker, and you know people love to read them, so check out the vast selection of witty, poignant, pithy, and downright bombastic liberty-oriented messages at libertystickers.com. Again, that's libertystickers.com. It's Ian and Mark in the studio here tonight. David is on the line in New Mexico. You were telling us about some of the allegations against you that you experienced when some of the women who are running one of these supposedly neutral child exchange areas, wherein, as you were saying, you and your ex did not get along, so you were ordered to use this location as a place to exchange the children. And you said that the last time you saw your kids, like a decade ago, was at this one place, and then some of the women who worked there alleged that you were playing backwards masked music.
Yeah, that was one of the things, and it gets worse. I was giving you that to give you a state of what these women's state of mind might have been.
Okay.
To even imagine that someone was sending satanic messages or something.
What were you actually playing? Like, was it heavy metal or something, or what? What was it?
Well, that's even more hilarious. Let me answer that question. But first of all, you hit onto something. What's really funny is, you know what the name of the exchange place is?
You said something neutral, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it's generically a neutral exchange place. The name of it is the Neutral Corner in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yeah, and they were all but neutral. But yeah. Funny. What I was visiting my kids, and it actually wasn't court ordered that we use that service. Oh. But my ex would only meet me there. She wouldn't do it like civilized adults. She would only meet me at the supervised exchange thing, which you have to pay for, by the way.
Right.
And so yeah, we're exchanging kids there, and and forgive me, what was the last question that you? Oh,
I was just curious. What music? You said you brought some music, a mixtape for your kids, and these women who were working there accused you in a later document of playing some sort of backwards masked music. What was it you were playing?
Exactly. That's pretty funny. What I was doing is I was trying to, we're at the visitation thing, the exchange place. It's like set up like a person's family room, a living room. You got toys and books and a sofa and carpeted floor and table and crayons and all that stuff. And I was trying to recreate at home. I was the primary caretaker, stay-at-home parent, and I would play basically NPR music stations at home while I was doing stuff with the kids. And so to recreate that environment, I recorded off the local, actually the University of New Mexico public radio station, some of the various. So this was what it probably was one of the segments where they were playing world music. So it was African music,
like a didgeridoo or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or Native American music is another one that it could have been.
So what were some of the other accusations that were so outrageous?
Well, let me just. They also thought it notable to tell the judge that I spent 20 minutes in the bathroom on several occasions. What they didn't know was I was cleaning my contact lenses. They probably thought I was doing drugs. And they made a note of it that one time when I was waiting for my kid to come in the room, that instead of sitting upright in the sofa or whatever, I just laid down on the living room floor and to rest and take a little nap while I was waiting. They thought that was notable, and but the worst. Let me give you the worst stuff. One of the reasons my ex didn't want me to take care of my kids anymore is she accused me of neglecting to change their diapers often enough, and they got diaper rashes.
That'd be bad.
So yeah, so while I was there, I made sure, since these people were taking notes, I made sure to change the kids' diapers each time that I was there, if it was for any length of time at all. And one of the times when I changed these kids' diapers, they wrote in the letter to the judge, they said that they noticed I had an erection.
What?
And yes, the woman said that quote unquote, I noticed he had an erection.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, how would anybody know that necessarily anyway? You had your pants on. Presumably you had your pants on.
How did you know I had my pants on?
Yeah, it's just presuming that you did. It's crazy, man. Sorry to hear the story, and thanks for sharing it tonight. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Like
damned
freedom.
if you do, damned if you don't. Right? You didn't clean the. You didn't take care of the diapers often enough. Now, when you do, you're a bad person.
855-450-FREE like freedom. You can bring up anything that you want. I mean, how do they know it was an erection and not his pants folded in a way that looks possibly like, something sticking up in there? I don't know. Pants can be funny like that sometimes.
Right.
So you can bring up whatever you want here. And
I've heard these stories, by the way, over and over and over and over again from men dealing with these organizations that
these handoff centers.
Yeah, these places that are, they appear to be man-hating sinners.
Well, it sounds like that's one of the things that led to him getting his kids taken from them. I mean, it's stories like this. Some of the reason why I got a vasectomy when I was age 23. Besides the fact
worry about that, right?
Yeah. Besides the fact that I don't want kids, this is another reason to not want them, because the breakups. I've just seen so many people distraught, and it's usually men, but not always. Sometimes it's the women that get screwed over in these deals, and I've just seen so many people so distraught over losing their custody of their kids. It's tragic. There's got to be a better way. I don't know what that is, but I can tell you that government is not known for being compassionate. Government is, a violent tool, and I'm not saying that some of these judges don't try to do the best they can given the circumstances that they have, and I'm sure they're dealing with some scummy parents a lot of the time, and I imagine that taints how they approach every single case, even though they have to try to be as objective in each case as possible.
Well, we're all dealing with socialization, and that in part, that socialization says that women are better caregivers than men, and that women should choose to have should be able to choose whether or not to take care of their kids, and that men should have to, deal with that decision, whatever that decision might be.
Well, what happens when you marry your own child? Here's a story I mentioned earlier from People.com. An Oklahoma woman who last year married her biological mother, who'd lost custody of her, was sentenced recently to 10 years of probation after pleading guilty to incest. Misty Velvet Dawn Spann, it's a lot of names, age 26, was scheduled to appear in court on Tuesday for a bench trial, but ended up pleading guilty and admitting to marrying her own mother, age 44-year-old Patricia Ann Spann, according to the Tulsa World. 2 years of Misty's deferred sentence of 10 years must be under the supervision of the Oklahoma Department of Corrections, according to the outlet, and she must also undergo counseling. Patricia Spann, who is also charged with incest, is to appear in court in January. She was also once married to her son, who had the marriage annulled after claiming incest. I just don't understand how you could marry your own mother and then annul it later. You didn't know? You didn't know it was your own mother that you were marrying? Patricia has pleaded guilty.
Strange story.
She's pleaded not guilty, and People was unable to reach her attorney. Patricia and Misty were both arrested in September of last year after authorities discovered that the two had become legally married. So it's legal to marry your own mother, but not have sexual relations with the person you've married? I'm so confused.
A commemorative President Trump dollar for only $5? Yes, the historic Trump dollar starts at only $5 at TrumpDollar.us. Choose from our unique 3-coin collection in gold, silver, and copper. The Vote Trump dollar, inaugural Trump dollar, and Make America Great Again Trump dollar. Available only at TrumpDollar.us. Minted in the USA, our Trump dollars commemorate President Trump's patriotic stand. Order your Trump dollar collection today in time for Christmas delivery at TrumpDollar.us. That's TrumpDollar.us.
This just in. Before your doctor gives you another antibiotic prescription that you don't want, get this free report, The Miracle of Garlic, your first home medicine. This free report is filled with easy kitchen remedies for common colds, flus, sore throats, ear infections, and more. Plus, learn to boost your immunity before you get sick. Go now to gcnwellness.com. Just like it sounds, gcnwellness.com to get your free report, The Miracle of Garlic. Click gcnwellness.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. Coincap.io.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live, live Saturday edition of the program. As always, you can dial in toll-free here. Venezuela defaulting on some of its debt, and if you thought things were bad there, well, they're about to likely get even worse. We can tell you more about that. Coming up here with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Also, don't forget, you can join us online. Head over to freetalklive.com and enjoy the features that we have waiting for you on the site. They're all totally free, unlike those other talk show hosts out there who want to charge you for their website. Ours is free, so go to freetalklive.com. You can even watch the webcam there. We got a YouTube channel. You can go to cam.freetalklive.com. You can see the show live there, or if you just want to go and watch later on, just go to youtube.freetalklive.com. That'll take you to the right place. As we continue, we'll take your calls and thoughts. The bizarre story where a mother married her own daughter and then ultimately got arrested for, apparently it wasn't legal to marry her own daughter, even though they were able to legally get married. So we'll get into some more of the bizarre, because it gets even more strange.
I would imagine that if you go and ask for a marriage license, that no one says, well, we're going to have to check and see if you two are related, right?
Right.
Even though the government
rare,
suggests that in giving a license, they're checking you out to make sure that you can get married.
They're just taking the
fact,
money.
It's just a fee
right.
for getting this boilerplate contract, which basically makes everybody unhappy.
We'll get back into it, but first, Robert is on the line in Norfolk, Virginia, listening to WNIS. Hello, Robert.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
Hey, I would like to, you know what, with Trump tweeting, I kind of like it because he says what he says, and the media doesn't change the subject. And I got a couple more things I'd like to say.
Well, before you go on, I want to talk about tweets. Hold on. Before you go on, I want to talk about tweets. I want to talk about the tweets. So Trump has
let's talk about the tweet.
Yep. Trump has
I
blocked.
like it. I like it.
Great.
I like it because you know what? You watch the media.
I think he thought
today.
you wanted to let him keep talking.
I didn't need you to repeat what you said about the tweets. I wanted to ask you a question. So Trump has blocked a few people from commenting on his tweets. And there's a lawsuit in play now that says that he is basically
official oppression.
Yeah, it's official oppression. And I'm curious as to what you think about this. Is this his private Twitter feed, or since he's doing government business on it, that now becomes a government Twitter feed?
I would say it'd be a government.
Okay. Then I guess he can't block those people,
right? I would say that. I would say it's a government because he is the president.
All right.
Okay.
On your next topic. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that, you know what, you watch the media, and you know the bias in the media. You guys are biased.
Yeah,
you call that lady with the two ladies that are married, the daughter and the rednecks. You know what? That's a racial word. You know that,
It's a
right?
racial word. What do you mean?
Redneck is not racial?
Well, I guess
redneck's a race? Doesn't have to do with you working outside and getting a red neck from being in the sun?
I think it's a classist statement.
Okay, well, all right. So
also, I didn't say they were rednecks at any point.
I did. I call them rednecks.
Did. I listened to you guys.
Okay,
listen, you guys
there are two
off
people.
Like
Settle down.
You said redneck.
Take a deep breath. Ian said he didn't say it. He was denying he said it because he didn't say it. I said it. We're not the same person. And I'm going to say it again, that redneckery sounds like incestuary to me.
You didn't say redneckery. You said redneck.
Good Lord.
Are you saying that rednecks are more likely to be incestuous than other people, Mark?
Yeah,
Why?
that's what I'm saying.
Because you work outside in the hot sun? That makes you I mean, these are two women. I don't know if they've got like hate throwing jobs.
That's not right, man. It's not right whatsoever.
Are you familiar
I agree with you guys.
Are you familiar
with... But what I'm saying is, why are you guys going to say redneck? Because it's like, it's a racial
It's not you
slur.
guys. My name is Mark, okay? He was clear.
Okay, Mark. It's a racial slur, Mark.
It is not a racial slur. I'm a redneck. I was born out in East Manatee County.
What, man? I'm a redneck, too.
You're self-hating redneck.
Goodbye.
Thanks for the call, Robert. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Are you a self-hating redneck, Mark?
Look, I was born working class. My dad was a mold maker at Tropicana, and my mother worked as an operator for a telephone company. They were probably in the working class, which is the second quintile of earning, so the 20 to 40% earners in the nation. And I think that's good qualification for being working class. And yeah, I mean, they worked very hard to get me a good education so that I would not be to grow up in the class that they did. And my mother worked very hard to make sure that I didn't grow up talking like the people who lived directly adjacent to us. Okay,
Like
I
a
can
southern
talk like that if I
drawl.
want to talk like that, because the Florida accent ain't nothing but a Georgia accent, a little faster.
Is that right?
That's all it is. But it's, I mean, is it genuine? I don't know. My mother was a Yankee, so she taught me how to talk like a Yankee. I guess it served me well. I ended up on the radio.
Let's go to Ronald in Virginia. You're on Free Talk Live, listening to WNIS. Hello, Ronald.
How you doing, sir?
Hey.
I'm the man that the government fear because I don't have a weapon. I told him I was going to put him out of business because no man got no right to be paying taxes to a dead King Caesar.
Who?
And all men are created equal. Why are we paying taxes to a dead King Caesar who ain't king of nobody today?
So hold on. You're saying taxes are being paid to Caesar?
That's what he's telling the Bible says, right under Caesar will belong to Caesar, but Caesar's dead. So why are we paying taxes?
I agree with you. I mean, I don't think that whether Caesar's dead or not is a factor, but I don't think, people should pay taxes because the government is evil.
I really wondered about
what... the government is evil. Our tax money paid the government to beat up Dr. King. Dr. King wasn't no black man. The Bible don't teach us no black and white people in the Bible. Everybody that was not a Jew was an uncircumcised Gentile. King Hall never repented on the day of Pentecost. After Jesus Christ was risen from the dead, he made all men equal. King Hall kept right on arresting people and killing people. And the government put you in jail for killing people, and they are still killing people. They need to be put in jail.
I'm a little lost at this point, I got to say.
I kind of like it, though.
Can you sum that up in a few different words, Ronald? Because you lost me there.
Yeah. Who can go out here and kill men, women, and children and not go to jail? The government.
The government. That's correct.
You're right.
The government.
The government. And now, who told the government they go kill men, women, and children? Jesus Christ or the devil?
Well, I would say, I don't know who tells them. It's just like they can do whatever they want.
I'll tell you who tell them. The devil tell them. The devil is a spirit. Jesus Christ ain't teach man to kill one another.
Fair enough. I think you make a good point.
He didn't teach man to judge one another.
This is a pretty good encapsulation of Tolstoy's The Kingdom of God is Within You.
It was a good book. I read that.
I read it. It was awful. But it does talk about how justice and truth come from the inside. They come from the light within as opposed to coming from without and the state. And I think that he gives a good encapsulation of it.
Thank you, Ronald, for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Whether you believe in the devil or not, I don't necessarily. I believe that, like you were saying, it's really up to the individual, how they choose, what they choose, and to suffer whatever consequences come from that, whether it's in this lifetime or a later lifetime. I mean, that again is up for some level of debate. But ultimately, the government does encourage evil. It allows human beings to have power over other human beings. And what we've seen is when people are given power over other people, they tend to wield it in ways that can be very sadistic and unfair and terrifying. And that's the problem that's inherent with power and human beings.
I think the lust for power is the devil. So it's, people have wanted to personify it. They've wanted to, alienate it from themselves by giving it
something
a name.
else.
Right. But ultimately, it's the lust for power. It's the desire to control another human being's actions, or a whole bunch of them at once.
All right, toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Still, more to come about this bizarre story, because it gets even more strange. If you thought it was weird that a woman would marry her own daughter at age 44 and 26, respectively, we've only just started this. There's more coming up here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today, the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Just dial toll free here, live Saturday edition. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
If you want to help build a better financial system for everyone, join Dash. It's digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it can be private and easy, fees are low, and transactions are quick, or can even be confirmed instantly. Unlike Bitcoin, where you're probably going to be waiting for a bit and paying ridiculous fees, even though
fees are coming down.
Bitcoin's fees have come down a little bit. They're still multiple times what you're going to pay for a Dash transaction. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized and run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. So join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to Dash.org and find out why. I haven't announced this publicly yet, but here it is. We now have Dash available at the Bitcoin, what was the Bitcoin vending machine here in town. Well, actually one of two Bitcoin vending machines. There's a new competitor in town doing a second one, but they only have Bitcoin. Now the original Bitcoin vending machine in Keene, New Hampshire has both Bitcoin and Dash. So that means that Dash is now available in Portsmouth, Manchester, and Keene, all across the southern tier of New Hampshire. Dash is available in vending machine form, which is amazing. It makes it easy for people to turn their U.S. dollars directly into Dash. It's a great customer service, a great community service to help get people out of the old money. The old money system. Every dollar that you put into cryptocurrency like Dash or one of the other competitors out there is money that the government can no longer touch. It's money that the government can no longer use for things like bombing innocent people and murdering people all around the globe and here at home. So I'm really glad to see this happening. We're seeing Dash really taking off in New Hampshire as far as more businesses are coming on board with Dash. I just brought 2 new businesses on board this weekend or yesterday with Dash acceptance at the point of sale, thanks to the folks over at AnyPay.global who are now offering that to anybody who wants it. Anybody that wants to do point of sale acceptance for Dash, just go to AnyPay.global and you can get signed up there. So I'm excited about that because to me, cryptocurrency can never be a true replacement for the fiat currency system, for the old money system, until it can get into physical reality in retail space. I understand more and more people are buying things online, but there's still something about going and trying on a pair of shoes before you make the purchase.
Sure, it's better with shoes and clothes to try it on.
Right. So let's go to your calls and thoughts here. We got Iden on the line in Indiana listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Iden.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, I just calling in to have an opinion about the mother and daughter who married.
Yeah, and then were subsequently arrested.
Yeah, and arrested. I believe the daughter pled guilty. The mom's pled not guilty because she gave up parental rights to not only her daughter but her 2 sons.
Well, here
and
I've got the story here. While you're on the line here, I'll share a little bit more from it. It's not very lengthy. So as we pointed out here, this woman Patricia is 44. Her daughter Misty, 26. Misty did take a guilty plea and has been sentenced to 10 years of probation for the so-called
just to make
crime.
sure she doesn't marry another relative.
The so-called crime of incest. Patricia, the mother, told investigators she had lost custody of her 3 children when they were younger, but then reconnected with them in 2014. When she and Misty were reunited, Patricia allegedly said they, quote, hit it off, unquote. Patricia told authorities that she allegedly looked into wedding her daughter and determined erroneously that marrying Misty would not violate the law because her name was not on an amended birth certificate created when she lost custody of her children. Patricia is identified as Patricia Ann Clayton on their marriage license application filed in Comanche County.
You might be a redneck if.
Incest in Oklahoma is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison. The marriage between Misty and her mother was annulled in October, 6 weeks after Misty filed for annulment, quote, by reason of illegality and fraud, unquote, said the Tulsa World. Misty said at the time that her mother was told that she had received legal advice indicating that her marriage was legal. So you got the daughter alleging fraud on the part of the mother, and then further, for even more, of a twist, one of her sons, Cody Spann, told people previously that his mother is an alleged predator who forced his brother and sister to marry her and then threatened to kill them if they did not comply. He who was 25, told people, quote, I think she's just a sick, twisted individual that has something messed up in her head. Why would you want to be with one of your own kids? Patricia's a very disgusting and horrible person, unquote. He said Patricia re-entered the children's lives in 2007 or 2008, claiming to be a friend rather than their biological mother. Cody said that he, Patricia, and his siblings spent some time in Texas, where Patricia and Jody became close. The two eventually married. That's her son, her other son. But when the family returned to Oklahoma, everyone learned the truth that they were related. Cody recalled, quote, my grandmother looked at my brother and told him that that was his mom. My brother said that he wanted to get away from her. That was not what he wanted. Then she threatened to kill him. She threatened to poison him. He said Jody was allegedly manipulated, forced, and threatened after he learned the truth. He said that after the marriage was annulled, Patricia then set her sights on Misty, allegedly threatening her with poisoning and kidnapping if Misty refused. Quote, my sister was manipulated and scared into this. Was she an adult? Yes, she was. But my sister was scared. So not only do you have a bizarre story of mother marrying her own daughter, but then you have allegations of potential threats of poisoning if she didn't go along with it. Anyway, there's your remainder of the story. Aiden, go ahead with your thoughts.
My thoughts are the woman is mentally insane. That really is what it comes down to.
Okay.
Just that level it. There's a mental illness called abbreviated GSA, genetic sexual attraction. You see it in people who have been separated at birth, and then they reconnect as adults, and then are find attraction towards one another.
How is that a mental illness?
Yeah, is that a mental illness, or is that just sort of a syndrome that people can experience if they were separated from close relatives at birth?
I am not familiar. I'm not 100% positive if it has actually been considered a mental illness by the American Psychological Association officially, but I know that there is a movement within psychology groups to have it labeled as such. So I could be wrong about it being an actual diagnosed mental illness, but it is at least something that is documented.
It seems to be relatively common. Is that if for whatever reason a child or even brothers and sisters, close family members are separated at birth, raised separately, that when they come back together for whatever reason, there seems to be a phenomenon of more likelihood towards sexual attraction.
Yeah, that's that theory is compounded by the Westermark effect, which is named after a psychologist that basically said that when children are in an environment where they're constantly interacting and whatnot, they are less likely to actually have sexual attraction towards one another.
Interesting.
As adults. Yeah.
Aiden, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us here tonight. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. One of the funny things about this story is you've got the brother saying that the mom here is threatening her own children into marrying her, which, again, maybe that's really going on, but why wouldn't the daughter be making those allegations on her own, right? Like, why not? Your mom's already in custody or whatever. Why not go ahead and, come on out with the full story? Instead, you've got booking photos here of both the mom and the daughter.
The daughter's on 10 years probation now.
They're wearing the same shirt. They're wearing a Superman logo, like T-shirt kind of thing with the arms cut off. That kind of shirt. Tank top, T-top. What do you call that? Tank top. Tank top.
If a tank top kind of usually comes in, it's just sort of sleeveless. Yeah,
this is a sleeveless kind of Superman shirt. I mean, they're wearing the same kind of shirt. Was that a coincidence?
Maybe mommy dressed them that day.
I don't know. It's just such a strange story. Now, if mom, the mom wasn't threatening her daughter with poisoning, and the two of them really did get married on their own volition.
But didn't the daughter say there was fraud on the mother's part?
She did say there was some fraud on the mother's part.
Is that because the mother told her that it was legal?
I think so. That was the claim.
Okay.
So she didn't say she was threatened with poisoning, but if it was voluntary between the two of them, again, is it really anybody's business, as bizarre as it might be? This is Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is coming up. You can share your thoughts.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buy, sell, makeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, November 18th, 2017. Silver's trading at $17.31 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,294 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,708. Antiwar.com reports U.S. military intentions in Syria have never been exactly transparent, but are becoming even less so as Pentagon officials loudly declare that the Islamic State has been defeated in the country, but insist the U.S. military intends to remain. This is a potential major legal issue because Syria never authorized the U.S. invasion in the first place. U.S. officials always presented the authorization as being UN resolution supporting the fight against the Islamic State, but that would no longer apply. Moreover, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has pointed out that Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has repeatedly assured him that the only U.S. goal in Syria is to fight the Islamic State. This is adding to Russian concerns about what the U.S. is actually planning on doing next. Secretary of Defense James Mattis is trying to present this as keeping the Islamic State 2.0 from coming into existence. While this is also the pretext for staying in Iraq, there is a major difference between a permanent deployment in Iraq that the U.S.-backed government there supports and trying to stay in Syria forever despite explicit opposition from the Syrian government. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports the Ohio State University has suspended all fraternity activities effective immediately, the latest major U.S. university to do so in view of several high-profile hazing incidents. David Isaacs, the spokesman for the college's Office of Student Life, told The Lantern the university will not tolerate behavior that puts the health and safety of its students at risk. The school said the suspension of all social, recruitment, and new member activities applies to all 37 regulated fraternities at the school. 11 fraternities at Ohio State are under investigation for violations of the Student Code of Conduct. Isaacs said the majority of the incidents reviewed involved hazing or alcohol. Ryan Lavelle, Ohio State's Senior Director of Sorority and Fraternity Life, said the Greek community at Ohio State has a long and rich tradition of leadership, service, and brotherhood/sisterhood. However, when individual members or organizations fail to live up to the standards and values, the entire community suffers. Lavelle said in a letter to Interfraternity Council chapter presidents and their national organizations that the investigations were deeply troubling and in an unacceptably high number. Fraternities at the university may only participate in essential activities until the suspension is over, not including social or alcohol-related events. All IFC chapters at Ohio State will be required to submit a list of essential activities to school authorities. The Ohio State University joins a list of other schools that have suspended Greek activity due to hazing and student deaths, including Texas State, Florida State, and Louisiana State. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a former South Carolina police officer who was filmed fatally shooting an unarmed motorist in the back 2 years ago will be sentenced on December 4th on federal civil rights charges. Michael Slager pled guilty in May to violating motorist Walter Scott's civil rights by using excessive force in the April 2015 shooting. A widely distributed cell phone video of the shooting taken by a bystander heightened a national debate about police treatment of minorities across the United States. The December 4th sentencing hearing will be held in the U.S. District Court in Charleston, South Carolina. Judge David Norton, who heard Slager's guilty plea in May, has blocked out a week for the proceedings. Slager faces a sentence ranging from time served to a maximum of life in prison on the civil rights charge. He has been in federal custody since his guilty plea just weeks before his federal trial was scheduled to begin. Slager fired 8 shots at Scott's back, hitting him 5 times. He opened fire after Scott fled a traffic stop for a broken taillight. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Clark County paramedics responded to a frantic 911 call from a nearby motel this morning, where the Lord our God, divine creator and ruler of the universe, had been found nude and unconscious following his latest suicide attempt. God, who sources say had recently grown far more depressed and withdrawn from humanity than usual, reportedly attempted to hang himself from the base of his motel showerhead after ingesting an unknown quantity of Ambien. Motel sources claim that God's room had been left in a state of disarray, and revealed that they had found a brief note written by the omnipotent deity, saying that the suicide stems from long periods of unhappiness he had been suffering in recent millennia, including the death of his only child, thousands of years of war and genocide, chronic weight gain, and the aftermath of his messy 15,088 BC divorce. Paramedics say the Supreme Being had no pulse when they arrived. The Lord's overdose comes in the wake of several widely publicized previous suicide attempts, including a 1985 incident when the Lord leapt from the Grand Canyon but changed into a bird at the last second and flew to safety.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the live Saturday edition of the program. As always, you may take control of the airwaves and bring up anything that you want. Coming up, the latest out of Venezuela, where just things are spiraling down in this socialist pit that has turned into a place where people can barely even eat if they're lucky. It's just horrifying. We'll tell you more about what's going on down there. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
We can go, though, to your phone calls and thoughts. First, we've got Luke calling from Norfolk, Virginia, listening to WNIS. Go ahead, Luke.
Hey, Mark. How you doing?
I'm good. What's on your mind?
Hey, you know what, man? I'm tired of the Republicans. You know why?
I'm listening.
They want me to send you guys 2 binkies and a blanket.
2 piggies in a blanket?
2 binkies. In a blanket.
Can you spell that
Binkies.
word?
Binkies.
Binkies, like something that a baby would.
Like a baby.
Yeah. Okay.
With a baby.
Yeah.
In a blanket.
What would we do with
Now,
that?
why would the Republicans want you to send us 2 binkies and a blanket?
Because they, you know why? Because they're stupid.
I'm confused. So the Republicans.
I just don't want to have to share a blanket with Ian.
The Republicans told you to send us 2 binkies and a blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if this is a crank call, but if it is,
yeah.
it's a terrible one. Luke, thanks for the call.
Funny though, ain't it?
I also don't like. Thanks for the call tonight. I also don't like Republicans or Democrats for the most part, because they are people, the ones, the rank and file, they're just normal folks. But the politicians are the ones who want to control your life. They're the ones who want to tell you how to live. They're the ones who want to shove their belief systems, whether it be their morality or their belief that you should have your money taken from you and, socialized or whatever, down your throat. And if you don't go along with it, they're going to put you in a prison cell. So I have no appreciation for those people. people like that.
I agree. Basically, the Democrats want to control your pocketbook. The Republicans want to control your life.
We will take your calls about anything you want. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Let's go to Jamil in Norfolk, listening to WNIS. Hello, Jamil.
Hey, Ian, Mark,
Hi, Jamil.
Commonwealth of Virginia.
Welcome. You're on the air.
Yep. I just wanted to call about, you're talking about the usual topic of cryptocurrency. You mentioned Dash, and I know that there's the Dash news site you guys are talking about.
Dash First News?
Yes.
Yeah.
I read some interesting article on there. Basically, it relates to Dash, cryptocurrency in general, and other ideas in general. And basically, the article I read said that, the article that I read said basically the rich, the upper class, and the lower classes have, and middle classes have various incentives and disincentives to adopt cryptocurrency in their daily use.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rich have, more resources, more of a leeway in order to do so, and they have, they're not operating on a spinner margin. Sure. And the poor are poorly served by the financial system, and they're always going to be in kind of tight circumstances. So and they're poorly served by the financial system, so they have the incentive to do so. But in general, it's the middle class that have the most disincentives because they're well served by the current financial system, and they have, but they're still always operating usually on really tight margins.
Yep.
Because of their lifestyle.
Nobody is well served by the current financial system except for the people who print the money and their friends. I mean, whether you're in a poor category or middle class or rich, you're getting your money is becoming worth less over time. I mean, that's because I'm going to put you on hold here for a moment because you've got a little bit of noise in the background. But the government money, the fiat currency, whether it be Venezuela, which is an extreme example of it, and we can talk about that in a moment, or here in the United States, they're inflating the money supply. They are taking value from whatever savings you have. If you're like a good, saver, which there's a disincentive almost to save because they're taking the value from your savings. But if you have savings, they print money that devalues the amount of money that you have in your stable. Whether you're poor, whether you're middle class, or whether you're rich, that system sucks. And why not have a money that actually can increase in value over time? That can happen with cryptocurrency. It's been happening with Bitcoin for the last 9 years. Dash is relatively new on the scene. I think it came out in 2014, but it's gone up also in value over time. Now, again, there's no guarantee that those sorts of things are going to happen, but one thing you are guaranteed of is that the federal government and the Federal Reserve are going to continue inflating their money supply. That's almost a guarantee. You can, mark my words.
Yeah, what the inflation of the currency, which is what happens when the government creates more money, benefits. It benefits the politicians, right? Because they get to spend more money on their
whatever they want,
stupid government programs that haven't worked yet.
They can go drop more bombs.
The bureaucrats, because that then makes more jobs and then makes their bureaucrat jobs pay more, and the bankers, because the money is inflated through the banking system. So it's not even the rich that benefit, although I think it's clear that the richest people are the ones that the government seems to be attempting to aggrandize because, they're the ones that can afford to buy politicians. So, pay for lobbyists and these sorts of things. So, yeah, the middle class, the lower classes, they're getting screwed all the time.
Go ahead, Jamil. Any thoughts?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. And I do like the deflationary aspect of crypto. Like seeing my fiat value go up over time. When it does, it goes down. I mean, it's
well, I wouldn't say that it's a deflationary. That crypto is deflationary. Bitcoin, for instance, is inflating its supply over time. There's new Bitcoin being mined into existence every 10
supply.
months.
I mean, not fixed supply. It has a fixed limit, though.
What's limited is the rate of inflation, in that we know how much is going to come out over time. We know there's going to be no more than 21 million Bitcoins that come out over time. So that's the thing that's different about cryptocurrency is if there is inflation, and not all of them are necessarily inflationary. Some of them just release it all at once when they start, and that's that. But the ones like Bitcoin, they do have some coming out over time, but at least it's predictable. It's not subject to the whims of a politician or a group of politicians or some banker.
Exactly.
And
I wanted to add one more thing.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, just in regards to all the calls you've been getting, look out of the wind, about that one more thing. Not that I really care, hardly any more than you do about the whole thing, but I do follow the news. They said that he was persona non grata from his local shopping mall because he was always there trying to pick up young girls. So I don't know if the voters want to.
You're saying when he was in his 30s, he was prohibited from being in the shopping mall?
Yeah, they didn't like him around.
I've heard that.
Interesting.
They did. So that's a pretty.
It should be very interesting to see which distasteful individual the Alabama voters pick.
Jamil, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Jeff is in Albuquerque listening to Kiva. Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Hey, you're on the air.
I'm hauling cattle up to Cuesta, New Mexico, and I was scanning through the radio channels. And I heard that one guy talk about his experience with the child custody evaluator when he went through a divorce.
Yeah.
It triggered me to call in because I had kind of the same experience. I had a child custody evaluator that I paid. We both had to pay her $15,000, and she was so biased, and she just pretty much raked me over the coals. And on the other side of the coin, my wife had taken my daughter with another guy overseas all summer long, and I didn't get to talk to my daughter during that time. I had to get the FBI involved and everybody to get my daughter returned. And so when we went to court, of course, we had to go through this child custody evaluator, and she just one of the protocol was to do a house visit. Well, I keep a pretty clean house, and she arrived, and
all right, hang on, Jeff. We're going to let you tell the rest of your story, but hold on. We'll bring you back here for that in a moment. More with Jeff in Albuquerque. Guess what? He got screwed over by the system, too. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom, and had to pay the very person who assisted in his screwing over.
Sounds like he had to pay a lot. $30,000?
That was 15 between the both of them, I think.
I thought it was 15 by both
each
of them.
or something like that. I don't know.
Still
We're coming up.
ridiculous.
Elephant skin. It was rough, wrinkly, like a Brillo pad.
His hair was falling out in clumps.
Petey stopped eating and all his hair fell out.
Our golden retriever, Sundance, he scratched incessantly. There was hair all over.
DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Within 2 weeks, the shedding slowed down to almost none. The scratching went away after a few days, and Sundance's coat was starting to get shiny and glossy.
It's a 180 turnaround. His skin has cleared up. He's not in pain.
If your dog has shedding, dry skin, excessive scratching, do the Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try. Dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com. Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Saturday edition, inviting you to join us on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. Also Skype in at Skype username lrn.fm.
If you've ever looked at home security systems, you know you can spend a great deal on them. Well, let me tell you about my Blink home security system. It was delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app, and it walked me right through the easy setup process. Even with my complicated router system, I was able to do this in 10 minutes, now, or probably less, to get all the cameras and everything done. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, and you can set it for different times, right? So, like, you would want this in your living room in the middle of, the evening when you're watching TV or whatever. But yeah, maybe overnight when you're asleep. I can just check it. Also, I can check in on these cameras anytime I want. So if I want to see what the cat's doing, just check my phone. And there's a great deal. You get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge for one. You visit blinkprotect.com/FTL to get this great deal. blinkprotect.com/FTL. I think it's a great system, easy to use, and you can kind of set it and forget it. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Except you don't forget it when it goes off, and it sends you a notification right to your smartphone or tablet device.
Yeah, I left the cat in the house, so it's probably notified me several times.
All right, our toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. Jeff in Albuquerque was just getting to tell us his story. You were inspired to call in by another gentleman who called earlier tonight about getting screwed over by the child custody system, and you had just kind of gotten into, you had somebody that you were paying. And can you clear up exactly what you were paying? Was it $15,000 from you and $15,000 from your soon-to-be ex-wife to this expert?
A total of $30,000 was paid to this woman.
And this was for her service of analyzing who the bad guy was in this situation?
It was, no, when you go through a custody battle, you have to get a child custody evaluator. And what her whole purpose is to evaluate both sides of the parent and see, which one that child should be with.
Mm-hmm.
And so during this process, I run cattle and we live out the country. We got chickens and we got, she was from Salt Lake City, and just, I knew I was in trouble when she arrived, because she arrived just all just, not countrified for sure. And so anyway, one of the things that you have to show the child in a normal environment. Well, one of the things that my daughter did during this time was collect eggs. Well, she went out and collected eggs, and then she asked her if she wanted one, and she pulled back her hand like she was getting handed the grenade. To make a long story short, so when I got the report, and this gets sent to the judge, so he reads it and sees that what she put on there, that I was not promoted a clean environment because I didn't make her wash her hands immediately after touching that egg. Meanwhile, she doesn't say anything about my wife. She doesn't check any of my character references. And so essentially what I had to do is I had to hire another child custody evaluator to show how she was biased. And
what did that cost?
I wound up winning. That cost me another $5,000. And
how come the first one cost $30 and the second one cost $5?
Well, because she was working for me, and her whole charter was to evaluate her report and pretty much discredit her for what she had written.
And you said you came out victorious?
Yeah, I came out victorious in the state of Utah, if you can believe that.
Wow.
And I wound up getting custody of my daughter, and she didn't get anything. But, her indiscretions were irrefutable, and so it was just a matter of me being able to present them and hire a good attorney that presented them and pretty much staked her to the coals. But anyway, I appreciate having
Jeff,
the opportunity
thank you,
to tell
man.
other guys if you go through it, just hire good people and go for it.
Jeff, thanks for calling and sharing your story. I appreciate hearing from you. Drive safe out there. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Well, if you got enough money to throw at the problem, maybe that will help a little bit. But either way, it sounded like maybe his ex-wife might have done some naughty things that he was able to reveal. So.
Yeah. In that case, I haven't met too many people that walk away from the divorce process happy with it.
No doubt, unless, of course, they agreed to the divorce in advance and are amicable throughout the entire thing. That can happen, but let's go on, though. Your calls and thoughts here. We have Tony. He's in Indiana. Tony, listening to WIBC FM. Hello there.
Howdy.
Hey, you're on the air.
Yeah, I want to comment on the Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump tweeting.
All right.
She wants to run her mouth, that Donald Trump's a sex offender and this and that, whatever it is there. What was she saying whenever this was being accused of Bill? How many women has he assaulted?
Right.
She wasn't out there running her mouth then, but she's wanting to run her mouth now.
Is she? Because I haven't seen her specifically say anything. Certainly, the Democrats are all flabbergasted, completely breathless. These Republicans
I'm going to take his word for it.
Oh my goodness,
Tony, I'm taking your word for it. Did you see some posts of hers where she said that? I totally believe it. If you did.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff on it, and like I said,
she's got sour grapes, Mark. She's mad. She's mad that Donald Trump beat her for the presidency, and I think you make a great point, Tony. Where was she as far as being upset when her buddy, her husband Bill Clinton got in trouble? But not just Bill Clinton. You can look at some of the other Democratic donors, right? Wasn't that character from Hollywood? What was his name? The Weinstein guy? Wasn't he all buddy with them too?
I think it was the chairman of the Democratic Party of the state of Florida just had to step down today.
Right. Yeah, and that's like Bill, when she was running for presidency, there was an allegation that he was accosting a woman on her plane, with Hillary right there.
Wow.
And she didn't say anything about any of that. I'm not a big Donald Trump supporter.
Sure.
I think he's the less of the two evil.
Yep. But it's just hypocrisy.
You have it that way.
It's just,
Right.
You've pointed out another example of political hypocrisy where they're real keen on the errors of their political enemies, but blind to the errors of the sickness or whatever of their political associates.
And another thing for like Donald Trump, if our government doesn't step up and make some changes on on who can run for presidency, it's going to turn into just a big circus. Anybody with a few $1 million is going to be wanting to run for presidency.
It's going to be The Rock in 2020.
Thanks for the call tonight, Tony. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I mean, that's the one thing I got to give Donald Trump. He's entertaining. I mean, for once, there's actually a president who has an entertainment factor. I mean, yeah, George Bush
what I'm looking for, by the way.
George Bush was entertaining when he'd screw up, right? Like when he opened the door or tried to pull the door you're supposed to push, and then the things he would say was Bushisms. Didn't they call them Bushisms? Those were funny. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. There's this house in Vermont we always drive by when we're going to Rogers Campground where there's a big picture of George Bush, big portrait, and it says, Miss me yet?
I've always said no up until this point, and I think I might.
It's Free Talk Live.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgoristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agorist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgoristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agorist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgoristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgoristHosting.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk live Saturday edition of the show. You may dial toll free to join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom, 855-450-3733. It is the holiday shopping season's pretty much upon us at this point. Next week is Black Friday, which officially kind of kicks things off, but obviously there are pre-sales and whatever else. So if you're thinking about getting your shopping taken care of sooner rather than later, I recommend going to shop.freetalklive.com. We got a Walmart link there, as well as some other links to places like Newegg that you can connect with, get the stuff you want for your loved ones. Hopefully you'll be budgeting appropriately, as we discussed in the first hour of the show. A lot of people still paying off debt from last year. That's a bad plan. But if you can afford to buy these things, go to shop.freetalklive.com, because then Free Talk Live will get a cut of the purchase prices when you go through the links you'll find there. So head over to shop.freetalklive.com as we go to Tim in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC FM. Hey, Tim.
Hi there. I enjoy the show. Thanks for taking my call.
That's okay. It's what we do. Go ahead.
Well, recently I bought some heat.
Heat? A gun?
And, actually, it's real heat. It's pepper spray, pepper gel.
All right.
And I wouldn't recommend seasoning food with it.
Nope.
I've never heard anything in the news about any assailants or any assaults with pepper spray. Wondered if I'm missing something. Did I waste my money? Is everybody else smarter than me? But
well, normally, I've never heard of anybody assaulting another person with pepper spray, but I'm sure it happens.
I can tell you Chris Cantwell's in jail right now for using it.
Well, he claims he used that in self-defense.
I understand, but I said having it and using it.
Right. So normally pepper spray is used as a defense against an attempted assault. I would say typically, but that doesn't mean that somebody who was wanting to commit assault couldn't use pepper spray. Certainly they could. As long as you get the element of surprise on the victim, then that could be a very uncomfortable thing to utilize. It would leave the person alive. It would not physically injure that person necessarily, but it would be pretty unpleasant. So are you asking I guess I don't understand the point of your question, though.
Well, just wondered if more people have it than is really publicized about it.
I think a lot of people have pepper spray. I mean, I know people who have it personally. You generally don't want to spray it when you're downwind, so you don't want it to blow back in your face. So to some extent, you have to keep.
Obviously.
Yeah, you have to keep in mind. Well, maybe it's not obvious to everybody, but you have to keep in mind your position in the elements, if you will, sort of when you're using this thing.
It often doesn't get like, for instance, it'll creep its way down to the bottom of the purse. When it comes to any self-defense item, it tends
it's not being used.
Yeah, you're probably only going to use it once or twice in life.
Yeah.
So
if I had a purse, I would put it in. Sometimes they have the inner pockets. I would put it in a place where it's not mixed in with other things.
Right.
So you want to get it quickly.
You know,
when you
oftentimes people will just, it'll end up sitting on the dresser or something like that.
But most of the time, Tim, you don't hear stories about self-defense that works. The mainstream media, if it bleeds, it leads, right? Like, you hear the stories about somebody who was not able to defend themselves, but it's very rare that you get a news story about somebody who successfully pulls out a pepper spray and, disintermediates somebody who wanted to attack that person. If you're in a dark parking lot or walking down some alley and some thug attempts to accost you or your loved one and they pull out a can of pepper spray and, maybe they don't even have to use it, but even if they do, usually those situations don't even make it into a police report in a lot of cases, just because if the victim is able to get away from that scene by using the pepper spray and able to get home, they just want to wash their hands of it, so to speak, and, be done with that. Not everybody is going to go and report to the police, but even if they did go and report to the police, that by no means that the local media is going to get a report from the police about that, nor would it mean that they would run with that story anyway, because, again, it's a successful story of self-defense. While we might consider that to be worth reporting on, it happens so often, it's really not news. I mean, if you think about whether it's a pepper spray or flashing a gun or pulling a gun or, whatever the self-defense method might be, it's impossible to count the number of times. I know some people try to take estimates of hundreds of thousands or millions of times per year that people are able to successfully defend themselves from a potential attack, from an attack that never even really gets to get started because they're able to bring their self-defense to bear on the potential attacker. It's just not newsworthy because it's so common, if that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I know that police carry it and security personnel, and I'm just wondering whether to invest more and buy a waist holster for it.
I guess it depends on how legitimate your concerns are. If you're living in a part of town where there's a lot of violent crime and you feel like you need to have this thing at the maximum ready at all times, then that is certainly an option. I would say that I wouldn't tell you what to do, but that's something to think about. Thanks for the call tonight, Tim. I appreciate it. Your personal safety is all up to you to decide how you want to handle that kind of thing.
Yeah, you've got to figure it out. You're going to look kind of funny carrying, pepper spray in a waist holster, but nonetheless, if you're ready for whatever might occur, then that's your business.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that if you're concerned, if you're living in a place where there's constant robberies and beatings or whatever holdups, then I don't think you really should be concerned about how funny you look in that case. If you're able to protect yourself or your loved ones, that's probably what's most important. Sarah is in Albuquerque. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
Yes. Well, I just have my hopes up that, I think our red light cameras might come back with our newly elected mayor. How do you think?
You think that the mayor is going to go against what is financially sensible, what makes sense as far as public safety? Because the red light cameras there's been plenty of studies that show they encourage people to take risks that they otherwise wouldn't take, and that results in accidents that otherwise wouldn't have happened.
Red light cameras are a scam that enrich local municipal governments, and it's not good for anybody.
Well, the thing is that this was not an issue that was brought up in the campaign whatsoever.
Yeah, that's because people figured it was settled. Because we know this because you've been a longtime caller of the show. Just for listeners who are maybe new to the program tonight, this was actually your first issue, I believe, that you ever called about on Free Talk Live was the red light cameras. I don't know, was it a year or two ago? It seems like you've been calling for quite a while. So this is obviously an issue that's near and dear to you. But you've consistently ignored the facts in these cases, and the reason why the city of Albuquerque removed their red light cameras was because all of the evidence is against them. It causes more accidents, Sarah, and you're somebody who's supposed to be concerned about the well-being of other people, but here you are wanting to reinstall this accident-causing device.
Well, look at you know what? We were number one in pedestrian fatality before the red light cameras. And after 7 years of red light cameras, we were number 7th in the nation. We dropped to number 7th.
Again, correlation is not causation. This is one of the most basic things to understand, is that when something happens and another thing happens, it doesn't necessarily mean that those things were connected.
And also, you're just spouting statistics. I haven't seen these studies you're talking about, but I will say that moving from 1 to 7 doesn't mean that your amount of fatalities went down, just that 6 places fatalities went up.
Could have gone up. Hey, Sarah, thanks for the call tonight. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here in the remaining moments of Free Talk Live, which are on the way, our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got a quick update here on what's happening with Venezuela, where things have just been so bad there, and they, of course, keep getting worse as the government has not yet, changed in any meaningful way, except to entrench themselves ever further. And in this case, they have now defaulted on one of their debt payments. What does that mean? We'll tell you more about it coming up here in moments. Your calls and thoughts are welcome as well. You can take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. It's Free Talk Live.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are two Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
If your dog has shedding, dry skin, excessive scratching, I would recommend Dynovite.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of Super Mega Fish Oil free.
Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Free this week at Dynovite.com.
Just feed your dog right. Use Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
Google has all but banned the movie series What Would Muhammad Do? It's a brilliant film on the true history and goals of Islam. This is the film Trump's enemies and holdouts from the Obama administration are terrified you will see. Pro-Islamic groups working with Google and other multi-billion-dollar corporations have vowed to suppress the distribution of What Would Muhammad Do? When you see it, you'll understand why. Get your copy while you still can. Order the 4-DVD collection today for $39.95 plus shipping and handling. Or go online and download the entire movie series for just $19.95. But wait, for those who order in the next 30 minutes, we'll throw in a 9-part series on the Muslim Brotherhood absolutely free. Go to wwmdfilm.com or call 304-289-3700 now. That's wwmdfilm.com or call 304-289-3700 now.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. It's really not creepy that little kids mindlessly recite this anthem every day and pledge their life to a government before they're old enough to really think about what they're saying. This is not a form of brainwashing. This is really the greatest country in the whole world. All the other countries suck. And if this country ever goes to war, as it's often wants to do, I promise to help go and kill all the other countries' kids. God bless GE. God bless Citigroup. Amen.
Very good, kids. Now come and get your Ritalin.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us here. You can bring up anything you want in these remaining moments. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And don't forget, we do have our website at freetalklive.com, where if you appreciate the work that we do here on Free Talk Live, you like that we're spreading the message of liberty and peace and freedom and cryptocurrency, 7 nights a week here. We do it 7 nights a week, 3 hours a night, live from 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time. And we've been doing it for actually, Mark, we didn't really commemorate it because it passed by quietly, but I believe it was the very beginning of this month, maybe the second or the third would have been our 15th year completed, 15 years of doing Free Talk Live, I think.
Yeah, and worked together 3 years before that.
That's right. So here we are. We're still here doing this thing, and you can still join us at 855-450.
Send help.
Free, like freedom. No, send help to Venezuela, where these poor people down there
Send a psychiatrist here.
Are subject to just an absolutely terrible regime of socialism that has, as pointed out here at CNN Money, turned into a nation spiraling into a humanitarian crisis. And now they've missed a debt payment. It could face grim consequences. The South American country has defaulted on its debt, according to a statement issued Monday by S&P Global Ratings. The agency said the 30-day grace period has expired for a payment that was due back in October. A debt default risks setting off a dangerous series of events that could exacerbate Venezuela's food and medical shortages. If enough holders of a particular bond demand full and immediate repayment, it can prompt investors across all Venezuelan bonds to demand the same thing. Since Venezuela doesn't have the money to pay all of its bondholders right now, investors would then be entitled to seize the country's assets, primarily barrels of oil, outside of its borders. Venezuela has no other meaningful income than the oil that it sells abroad. The government, meanwhile, has failed.
Socialized everything else.
Yep. It's failed for years to ship in enough food and medicine for its citizens. As a result, Venezuelans are waiting hours in line to buy food and dying in hospitals that lack basic resources. You got an infection in Venezuela? You better leave, because you're not going to be finding any antibiotics.
Good luck leaving.
Around there. If investors seize the country's oil shipments, the food and medical shortages could worsen quickly. Fernando Frejero, an analyst at the Economic Intelligence Unit research firm, says, quote, "Then it's pandemonium. The humanitarian crisis is already pretty dire. It boggles the mind what could happen next." Unquote. It's not immediately clear what steps bondholders will take. Argentina went through a vaguely similar default, and its bondholders battled with the government for about 15 years until settling in 2016. Every case is different, though. Venezuela and its state-run oil company, PDVSA, owes more than $60 billion just to bondholders. Let's be clear, that's dollars, not the Venezuelan bolivar.
Which is basically worthless.
Bolivar Fuerte, which, by the way, last time we talked about Venezuela would have been maybe about 3 weeks ago, I think. No more than a month ago. The last time I talked about Venezuela, we always like to check in with dollartoday.com, which is a website that tracks the exchange rate, the black market, the true exchange rate of the U.S. dollar to the Bolivar Fuerte, as compared to what the official government exchange rate is, which is 10 to 1. So the government says that their Bolivar, you can trade $1 U.S. dollar and get 10 Bolivars. So if you take a U.S. dollar to any government bank in Venezuela and you hand it to them, they will hand you back 10 Bolivar Fuerte. On the other hand, if you were to take that same dollar into the black market, you may be able to receive as much as 73,218 Bolivar Fuertes for that $1 U.S.
That's
dollar.
what the real exchange rate is.
Correct. And the last time we talked about it, it was around 45,000. That was less than a month ago that we talked about Venezuela. So you're talking about tremendous
bad
inflation.
Place to be a human.
Yeah. Venezuela, again, defaulting here beyond its bond payments, the country owes far more. So again, they owe $60 billion to bondholders, of which they've missed their October payment, and now the 30-day window grace period has expired. The country also owes more than that, though, $196 billion, according to a paper published by the Harvard Law Roundtable and authored by lawyers Mark Walker and Richard Cooper. Beyond bond payments, Venezuela owes money to China, Russia, oil service providers, U.S. airlines, and many other entities. Their central bank only has $9.6 billion in reserves because it has slowly drained its bank account over the years to make payments. The S&P default announcement Monday came after Venezuelan government officials met with bondholders in Caracas. The meeting was reportedly brief and offered no clarity on how the government plans to restructure its debt.
Well, since it keeps on doubling down on socialism, it doesn't have a plan. I mean, the Margaret Thatcher quote. You can say what you want about Margaret Thatcher. Some things better, some things worse. But the Margaret Thatcher quote that the problem with socialism is that sooner or later you run out of other people's money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Venezuela ran out of other people's money. And the sad fact is government isn't very good at handling business. So
they drove all the businessmen out of business by nationalizing hundreds of industries in the country and running them into the ground. And then any other businessman that hadn't been nationalized by that point would have been insane to not shutter up the shop and leave town.
Yeah, the Venezuelan people would be better off without someone claiming to be the government.
Absolutely.
Than they are with this one.
There's no doubt about it. The Venezuelan government is blaming its debt woes and inability to pay, of course, on a long-standing, quote, economic war, unquote, waged by the U.S. So it's all the United States' government's fault is why Venezuela can't do anything right, according to them.
Of course it is.
More recently, the Trump administration slapped financial sanctions on Venezuela and PDVSA, barring banks in the U.S. from trading or investing in any newly issued Venezuelan debt, which any bank that were to actually buy Venezuelan debt would be insane at this point to do something like that. I mean, when you have a country out there that is defaulting on its debts, that is so kind of over-leveraged or whatever, they don't have any assets to back this debt up, and as soon as they are able to, their bondholders are going to confiscate whatever little bit remains.
Right. This government's going down the tubes, and there may be one that comes out in the future, but it's not going to honor the debts.
Experts say socialist Venezuelan regime has been in power since 1999, bears the brunt of the blame. It fixed or froze prices on everything from a cup of coffee to a tank of gas in an effort to make goods more affordable for the masses. For years, Venezuelan leaders also fixed the exchange rate for their currency, the bolivar, and they still do. Those moves were among the driving forces behind the food shortages. Farmers couldn't sell at low prices without going out of business because their cost of production was much higher. Importers also couldn't afford to ship in food, knowing they would have to sell at much lower prices than what they paid for at the port. When food shortages grew worse, an illegal black market emerged where vendors sold basic foods at vastly higher prices than the government's artificially low prices. Inflation soared, making the bolivar almost worthless. Now remember, inflation is frequently misunderstood by reporters. It wasn't the black market that caused inflation to soar. It wasn't, as the Venezuelan government claims, dollartoday.com that caused inflation to soar. Inflation can only happen from one thing, and that is the government printing money.
Right.
That's what the inflation problem
That's
is.
what inflation is. It's an inflation in the currency. You can have price inflation, but it usually occurs because the government's printed more money.
Let's talk to Wayne. He's in Indiana. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah, just a quick comment on these pepper spray devices.
Sure.
I've had a few over the past 30 years, and if you keep them around for a few years, the failure rate is 100%.
Really?
And they don't have any date code on them. And if you use them for testing, you maybe use up enough of the ingredients and perhaps make the valve leak.
Yeah.
So, and I just think you have to have a good maintenance program, and there's, like I say, no date code. The body of the device is so thick you can't just press on it and feel the pressure inside, so there's just no way to maintain them.
That's an interesting point. So what you're saying is if somebody has a pepper spray device but they don't ever test or use it, and they're sitting in their purse for 3 years until finally one night in a dark alley it's necessary to use, it may be a failure on attempt.
Yeah. Like I say, I've had, I don't know how many, but I have right here in front of me 4. And I tested one of the newest ones just before I called you and just oozed.
My goodness. Remember to test those outdoors, by the way. Wayne, thanks for that expertise.
I think that's a very real concern. I would imagine that I hadn't really thought about it, but I would imagine changing that out every year is probably a good idea.
Yeah, how often would you recommend changing them?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I've tested them when they were brand new and they worked. I've tested them after I've had them for a few years and they've oozed or did nothing at all. And, I don't know in between that what to say.
Great points.
But they have no date code on them, so you can't just look at one and know, and you can't press on the body and know because of the thick
Wayne, thank you for the expertise.
In fact,
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. We got to go, but we'll see you tomorrow night online in the meantime at freetalklive.com. Enjoy your weekend.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years